What are some of the worst D&D homebrew rules you've seen? Adjusting PC's appearance based on roleplay. Now, our DM decided that one of the players wasn't roleplaying their elf elfishly enough. As a result, their PC lost their pointed ears and half of their racial dexterity bonus. To earn them back, the player had to act more elven. I've seen consequences for paladins who stray from their alignment or clerics who defy their deity, but this felt a little bit over the top to me. Acrobatics for moving faster. In one game, moving faster than a brisk jog required an acrobatics check. Failure could result in anything from a slight stumble to falling flat on your face. Homebrewed leveling system. Now, I knew a DM who homebrewed leveling. Whenever you leveled up, it was in the class the DM felt you'd been acting like. Start as a wizard, but sneak everywhere and attack from the shadows? Hey, guess what? Congratulations! You're now a rogue. Play a bard, but during a bar brawl, you angrily crack a bandit with a chair? Congratulations! You're now a barbarian. Diligent monks studying your order's teachings, but you've been reading arcane books because the group gave you access? Hey, welcome to wizard levels. Oh, it got worse. The DM applied this logic to stats too. For example, let's say you're a bard at level 4 and want to increase your charisma by 2. Nope. The DM noticed you let the warlock handle all the talking and that you're always breaking down doors when the barbarian fails. Congratulations, you get +2 strength. Damages versus damage. If a player said damages instead of damage, the DM would heal the monster by the same amount of damage dealt. This started as a running gag in our party, but the DM really didn't like it. Half HP rule for grittier combat. The DM made everyone have half HP to make combat quicker and grittier, but monsters had ridiculously high attack bonuses, such as mooks with 5 HP having +9 to hit in tier 1, so someone went down in literally every fight. Now, I played a grave cleric, constantly bringing people back to full HP and preventing character deaths the entire time. Despite that, the game fizzled out after level 5 due to other frustrating rules. Familiars couldn't carry anything. DM PCs were poorly run. The sheer difficulty just wore everyone down. Bonus HP for kills. The DM introduced a system where killing an enemy earned their killer bonus permanent HP, which also became a sort of currency later. My hunter got literally none of these bonuses. Everyone joins every check. Our DM wouldn't let the party split up, even slightly. Everyone had to participate in every single check. Want the rogue to sneak into a room to grab something? Nope. The entire party is going in, including the paladin with disadvantage on stealth. The paladin wants to petition the local guards? Now everyone has to look convincing, including the barbarian with -1 charisma. The DM got visibly annoyed whenever we all happened to pass a check, by the way. Everyday life is deadly. Drinking water, roll a con save versus cholera. Why cholera? Eating bread, roll con save versus ergot poisoning. Drinking from a tap, lead poisoning. Carousing, syphilis. Eating steak, VCJD. Sharpening a weapon. Guess what? You just cut yourself and get tetanus. Petting a dog, bitten, and you die of rabies. What is this campaign, and can we get more of it? Jumping and gold madness, huh? Jumping over or onto anything required a successful athletics check with a DC of 10 plus the height of the obstacle. As a halfling with 7 strength, my raw jump height was bad enough, but this rule made it nearly impossible. Don't take even that away from me, come on! Now, gold was awarded for downtime activities, strictly tied to charisma scores and performance rolls. Because you have to interview to get a job, the DM said. Only characters with proficiency in performance could access the high-paying jobs, which earned double or triple the amount. Sounds like voice acting. The DM almost never awarded gold in any other way. I was playing a fighter with a 10 charisma score and just wanted a basic +1 weapon, but monster loot didn't include any magical items either. Thankfully, after some arguing, the DM changed the rule and introduced ways for non-charisma characters to earn money and equipment. But he still barely gives out gold and wonders why no one buys his cool homebrew items. Buddy, your sword is 1,000 gold pieces, and we can't even afford studded leather. Also, no one's using great swords in this party. The Power-Tripping DM's Greatest Hits, Volume 1. If you were disarmed, all attacks against you had advantage. The rule mysteriously disappeared the moment a monk joined the party. Magical weapons overcame the bear totem's resistance to all damage. They don't. A fireball would have been halved, but a measly +1 dagger wouldn't. All polearms, glaives, halberds, etc. had disadvantage against targets within 5 feet. Why? Because the lance has that special property, so all polearms should. This was the same DM who thought a level 8 party of 3 could take on a lich. You can guess how well that went. The worst character generator ever. Years ago, I joined a group through my company's internal email list. The DM used a random backstory generator after we picked race and class. Everyone before me got screwed. The wizard had an int cap of 9. The fighter had 1 arm. The thief was dirt poor and had no gear, not even lockpicks or a dagger. I planned to play a human psychic and started strong, wealthy war hero. But then, cursed with non-functional bat wings, charisma limited to 6, and a 1.5 times size, which means clumsy, dexterity limited to 10. We were all desperate for a group, so we stuck it out for 3 sessions at least. There was no session 4. The 10-turn concentration nightmare. In a WotC campaign, I banished the big bad evil guy in round 2. Since he was banished to his own realm, there was no way for him to return. We had already cleared his minions, so I wasn't at risk of losing concentration due to damage. But the DM insisted I actively roll for concentration every turn for 10 turns to keep him banished. I wasn't allowed to do anything else, not even move, without disadvantage on the roll. I nearly quit the group. That DM had so many nonsensical rules. Thankfully, they were replaced by another player, but even as a player, the original DM kept screwing us over. The Ranged Attack Nightmare. The DM changed the rules for ranged attacks targeting a single creature, bows, firebolts, etc. Instead of rolling to hit, the target made a DC 13 Dex saving throw. Now if they failed, then the attacker could roll to hit. This made landing a hit on enemies ridiculously hard, especially if you weren't melee focused. Chessboard movement. This is weird. Movement worked like a chess queen. You could only move in straight lines. Once you chose a direction, you couldn't change it until your full move speed was used. The DM was convinced this was rules as written, and they could not be convinced otherwise. Leave your comment down below. How is this interpreted as rules as written? The 75-page Homebrew Nightmare. I was invited by a former coworker to join in a campaign. Before the session, I texted the DM to get an outline of the game or any info I'd need. It was pitched as a standard high fantasy Tolkien-style game. The DM said, "You'll just have to see it. It's really cool. I run some homebrew rules that make things dynamic." Well, since I got no specifics, I created a bland fighter, a former city guard that could work in almost any setting. When I showed up, I was handed a 75-page booklet detailing the altered rules. Everything about combat was different. Now, thankfully, I'd made a straightforward character because the rules for spellcasting were an absolute mess. You rolled to see if the spell even worked. Then you rolled to see if it hit, then the enemy rolled to avoid damage, and combat wasn't much better. Each attack actually involved an attack roll, a contested dodge roll, a roll on a wound table if the attack actually succeeded, and we got through 3 rounds of combat in 4 hours. I politely said I wouldn't be back. The DM, upset because I was the 5th player to quit in 2 months, asked why I was leaving. Don't invite people to play 5th edition D&D and hand them a 75-page booklet changing everything outside of character creation, then expect them to learn your homebrew gaming system. Gritty survival gone wrong. Our DM wanted to run a gritty survival game where we descended into different levels of hell. It's a cool concept, except this was the start of the campaign. We were level 3 and half the party were brand new players. The DM thought gritty meant making us as helpless as possible. Class features with limited uses per long rest now required rolls to recharge. Spell slots also needed rolls to recover. Some class features were just outright banned. One of the players summed it up perfectly. It's more fun to watch a prison break where someone has a dozen tools and clever plans to overcome complex challenges than to watch someone slowly dig out of a stone box with a spoon. Exalted Heart Attack Roulette. Not D&D, but I remembered an Exalted campaign with a bizarre rule. Every week, each character rolled a d10. If you rolled a 1, your character had a heart attack and died. Wait, what? For context, Exalted is a game where you play as demigods in a fantasy world. I never understood the reasoning behind this rule. Gritty realism overload. I once played under a DM with a collection of house rules designed to make long rest casters nearly impossible to play. Gritty realism rules meant long rests took days to recover. Additional rules made it even harder for spellcasters to replenish spells. He also added a rule allowing Cure Wounds and Prayer of Healing to be cast as rituals, making spellcasters obsolete since any character with the ritual caster, cleric, feat could out-heal them. The DM claimed it was supposed to be an intrigue-based campaign, but by neutering spellcasters, he removed one of the most useful toolkits for intrigue. The Punch Wizard Proposal. Back in 4th edition, I had a player pitch a Punch Wizard homebrew. His concept was simple: cast spells by punching targets. He wanted intelligence and dex added to attack rolls, intelligence added to AC for survivability in melee, magic missile punch to be an auto hit just like the spell, and it was a creative idea, but I had to pass. This one could be taken multiple ways. The Backfiring Reach rule. I haven't seen many bad house rules, but one I strongly disliked was this. When attacking through allies with a reach weapon, if you miss the target but beat your ally's AC, you hit your ally instead. Since the target already gets half cover, as per rules written, this rule made it far too likely to hit an ally. I get that it's trying to simulate the chaos of battle, but a weapon designed for reach shouldn't be punished like that. The half-cover penalty is enough, in my opinion. Dice Purity Obsession. This group I played with had a bizarre obsession with pure dice rolls. If the dice touched anything during the roll, you had to re-roll. It brushed against a book, re-roll. Banked off the back of something, haha, re-roll. Did you just touch a pencil? Re-roll. Rolled from one surface to another? Ooh, can't have that. Re-roll. It was insane. Even using a dice tray was wrong because it apparently interfered with achieving a true roll. Every roll took 4 times as long because of this. I later found out that 2 of the main players in the group didn't believe the moon was real and thought school shootings were faked, so yeah, insane fits. I wouldn't even call that insane. I'd call that, well, batshit crazy. To save my sanity during the Vampire the Masquerade game we played, God, that's gotta be horrible, I just started shaking my dice in my hand and slamming them onto the table like I was playing Yahtzee. If I hadn't, it would have been even more hellish than it already was. But that's a horror story for another time. If you listen in, we want to hear it, put it in the comments below. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know in the comments below what are some of the worst D&D homebrew rules you've seen or in any other game you've played TTRPG related. And, of course, we want to thank all of our members. You help the channel way more than you know. With YouTube's failing algorithms, you are also helping us keep the lights on and the stories are flowing. You don't have to sign up, but if you do, you get early access to videos and a huge thanks from us in the future. We love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy, and we'll see you later. Toodaloo for now.